So basically, in the UK, you found it more educational, you're empowered maybe, and then you can make those informed choices.
Yes.
Now, both me, yourself, and I, we come from Kenya, so we may see why such an approach in Kenya may not have been what you experienced at the time. But
Yeah.
maybe in your view, as someone who was diagnosed there and you had to start the journey there, what do you feel is the reason why they didn't take that approach?
When I interact with people at with diabetics, so about a year ago,
Mhm.
I joined a diabetic group, a Kenyan diabetic group, to try and see, listen from people on the ground because I was very disconnected, and I was like, okay, how can I help? How can I say?
Or like,
How can I pull people up? How can I make it better? But for you to be able to work around that, you need to understand what's happening already.
exactly, yeah.
So I feel that because the system is done under the insurance way, so the model is similar to the US.
Mhm.
You find that it is driven by the decisions are driven by money, and sometimes it is not about caring for the patient, it's how much you can get from them.
Mm.
So I feel that that is one of the main factors. However, there is pockets of people who are doing amazing work,
Yeah.
and the thing is, money does talk.
Mm.
So because so insulin is I think the sixth most expensive liquid in the world,
Mhm.
which means that for a country in the global majority, it can be an issue because people have have lower wages, or the pharmaceutical companies do not subsidize, or the infrastructure to do that is not yet there.
Yeah.
So it's like you find like a disconnect in a lot of things.
Mm.
However, I have seen and known other affluent countries like the US where people die from a lack of insulin because they cannot afford the insurance to be able to buy. So I suppose it works both ways. And I suppose the bigger picture is, how can the pharmaceutical companies bridge that gap? Because I feel like the button is in their hand, and there's not that many companies that produce insulin, so it makes it less competitive. Uh, I'm also aware that the person who patented insulin, I think his name is Button, he patented it for $1 or £1 so that it can be accessible. So I think he started off on the right foot.
Yeah.
But someone along the way thought, okay, money is more important than people's health. They prioritize money over people's health. So I think it's a global problem.
Yeah.
But I feel that the European or maybe UK approach, because of how the health system is, so the NHS, although we complain about it, it has done wonders for people with long-term conditions like diabetes. So kudos to the NHS.
Yeah, it's not the crisis doesn't mean they're not pockets where it's actually helping people.
100%.
Amazing, amazing. Good. So you've been privileged to see when you were young, you know, how the Kenyan system was, and then you've been doing your own research last year, you're in the groups. So
Yeah.
you've had a nice advantage where you've seen what happens in Kenya, what happens in the UK. So based on that, what do you feel both countries still need to do to support patients better?
That is, well, wow. Because so in terms of the UK, I feel that they do a great job in terms of education,
Mhm,
and you're normally seen by a group of people.
mhm,
So my care is mainly at a hospital. I am seen by a consultant, a diabetic nurse, a dietitian. I have my eyes checked. I have my feet checked. So it's by a group of people.
yes,
And the advantage of that is that that group of people sit down together and discuss me as a person.
yes.
So the healthcare provided is wholesome.
Mhm,
Um, what improvements can they do?
mhm,
The improvements that I see now are not so much from the healthcare system. I think they do an amazing job,
mhm,
and I think they have um, learned a lot. I feel that they can almost be like a benchmark for other countries.
mhm.
I think that the UK is ranked as the second best after Sweden in diabetes care.
Okay.
I think.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I saw that statistic somewhere. I don't know if that's changed, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then how I would maybe translate that in the Kenyan market would depend on a lot of things. So it would start perhaps with a government effort
Mhm.
to be able. The first thing I see is to regularize, find a regulated way of having insulin come in, because as a country in the global majority, I find that we are exposed to certain things like people bringing. So we have, in terms of manufacturing, the main companies that manufacture, and then you have like generic brands. So this brings a divide because the patient, I've noticed that people don't really understand the difference between the two. Um, and then even with the branding, sometimes you'll find branding in, so we're an English speaking country in Kenya. You'll find branding. So the brand name, I don't want to say any brand names, but
Mhm. Yeah, we don't want to promote them.
you yet, unless they pay the bills.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have a named company, well-known company, and then you have instructions or the package written like in Arabic. So
Mhm.
you'll find people saying, "Oh, that's I don't know, comes from this place." And then I did a little bit of digging, and the prices are different. So same brand, and the prices are different. And I found out from someone in the, let me say, logistics and thing,
Yeah.
that the pricing is influenced
Mhm.
by, so there isn't really like a regulation on like temperature control and all of that. So if all of those checks have been done, it commands a higher price, which means what has happened to the other things that are in the market?
Mhm.
Are they fit for purpose? Are
Mhm.
they safe for the patient?
Mhm.
Because as you know, insulin can degrade.
Yeah.
So how sure is a patient? You'll find people saying, "Oh yeah, after I was taking that, I was getting a lot more hypos." So I'm like, there isn't, I would say, like a strict regulatory body, perhaps, to keep an eye and ensure like patient safety in, in the Kenyan market.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing I would do is perhaps these talks in like the diabetic groups about lobbying the government. And that doesn't normally, there's no one who is loud enough or has big traction who is able to do that on our behalf, I suppose. And when you think about diabetes, it is quite a common disease.
Yes.
So I wonder why the case is. The other thing is with the insurance model, it means that some people they cannot access the basic things. So then that needs to be revised and to make people understand that I don't have a choice as a diabetic. I can't decide that, I'm not going to take insulin today. It will have an impact. Maybe you will be fine for a couple of days and then the cost will increase.
Exactly.
Because you may have to be hospitalized. That will cost more than a vial of insulin. And then there's the human cost of death, because that could be the breadwinner in that family. So it's like a snowball.
Yeah.
It's something that needs to be addressed and addressed quite quickly.
Yeah.
I suppose. Someone did mention that the late, Baba had diabetes, and he would have been a great candidate to advocate for diabetics. But he's no longer here with us. So it's about maybe trying to find another suitable candidate to be able to amplify that in the in the political circles, and have it actioned urgently.
Yeah, yeah. And for those who don't know Baba, because we have viewers from all over the place, that is the former Prime Minister of Kenya who passed away by the time this is airing, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, Raila Odinga.
Yes.
So I think that's really important to have someone to voice and someone who's very influential and can be that loud voice to speak up for diabetics, and especially in Kenya. So now if we make it personal to you, what you've learned from the UK, what you've learned from Kenya, how has that impacted how you yourself, you manage your diabetes?
I feel that helps me remember that I'm in a position of great privilege. I mean, indescribable. I am grateful to the healthcare professions that see me. Yeah. It also, even on the bad days. So the thing with diabetes is you can do your best. You can do everything that's been written in the book. And then some days it's just you're almost like fighting a body. It's like you're two different entities, and you think you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Hello, friend. We're trying to help each other here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you know, diabetes is systemic. So sometimes there are things going on that you can't really see. And this is what I mean by the gap is bridged by the education. So it's like, okay, for women at different parts of your cycle, you may react differently to insulin sensitivity. And how do you work around that? Other times, it's like you might have moments of, I don't know, seasons of stress. Maybe it's exam season, maybe there's a big project at work, maybe it's relational. And how do you navigate that? So it's like the effect of, I don't know, a stress hormone on your how you insulin sensitivity,
Yeah.
and how do you work around that? Um, I think the education based model helps you navigate all of those things. So another example is like when you learn about your body and how it metabolizes different types of carbohydrates. So if it's for example, pizza that has fats, so the carbohydrates are piggybacking on the fats, which means they have an extended time being digested. And how will you inject for that, so that you have, so I like to speak in graphs, so that you have a softer graph, no peaks, no high peaks. So you're trying to, I normally compare diabetes to a car. So as a diabetic, you are a manual car where you need to think about what you're doing. Whereas a non-diabetic person is an automatic car. You just wake up and go drive. And you're driving, where I have to think, is it a hill start? All of the things.
When do you need to change the gear?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're constantly thinking. You're thinking, what am I doing now? What did I do before? And what am I doing a little bit after? So, for example, if I was having a sugar level that is quite well controlled, maybe let's say 5.2, and I mean millimoles per liter.
Yes.
That's a great sugar level for a diabetic, for most diabetics. If I was going on a walk, like a 1 hour walk, even just a slow walk, I would need to think, okay, so that I can prevent going into a low sugar, how do I manage that? So I would, for an insulin pump user, I would switch off the insulin before, like an hour beforehand, so that as I'm walking, I'm not going into a hypo. And the other thing, I normally, when my friends started having children, they would say, oh, I can't just leave the house now. I have to think about nappy bag, milk, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, okay, I can't just leave the house as a diabetic. I have to think snacks, low sugar treatment, and all the things in between.
Yep.
So I guess I have a child.
You have a child. You have nappy bags, but they're a different kind of nappy bag.
Exactly. So yeah, it made maybe people understand better. They're like, oh, okay, I see. So there's also like some kind of, people don't fully understand. So in the UK, 1 in 4 people has diabetes or know someone with diabetic. So that's very common if you ask me. But people don't know the intricate details. For example, I found myself doing presentations to management just to help them understand that some things I'm doing. I mean, it helps people. Although I work in healthcare, you'd be very surprised.
Yes.
People have no idea.
No idea.
And you need to explain certain things so they can understand why you need to, I don't know, take breaks more often, or why you cannot do certain tasks or need to do them differently, because you're always thinking, your brain is always occupied. So as I said, what am I doing now? What did I, so when I clocked in, the diabetes didn't clock. I mean, it's been clocked in from before I came. So I might have had a low sugar when I woke up, which means that I needed to treat that. And it means that maybe I cannot be at my best today. So for the first few hours, I need to take it a bit slow. So people don't know that, or they don't know that you've been awake at 3 a.m. from a low sugar and that you're a little bit tired today. So it's the same thing as having children. They don't know that your child was throwing up in the night.
Exactly.
And sometimes you don't want to tell people that you've had a rough night.
No.
So, it has an impact on maybe the work environment and how people relate to you. So for me, how I went around that is by making a presentation and having people see it, and they're like, okay, and then people would ask questions in a positive way, and they'd be like, oh, okay, and they'd be like, yeah, I remember I went once for dinner with my friend, my diabetic friend, and they had a low sugar before the meal was served, so we had to get them Lucozade quickly, and I'm like, oh yeah, so they know things. They might not know the intricate details, but they know things.
Yes.
It's like putting all the knowledge together and helping people understand better and maybe be kinder.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you're just having a rough day or maybe a rough season. You don't know when it's ending, or you might have something else underlying that is affecting your sugar levels. You haven't figured it out. The healthcare professionals haven't figured it out. And you're just like riding the wave until you get some kind of like, I don't know, moment where you can go.
You can breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess that leads nicely into misconceptions and the stigma. And for you, I can see, first of all, you've taken a very keen interest on your health, on your diabetes. You've done research, you're in groups, you've learned a lot. So for you, what are some of the myths or misconceptions about diabetes that really irritate you?
Oh, it's mostly